sporting events and does volleyball, yogurt beach, carousel of dreams, and also from our good old community members that have been helping us raise money to reach our goal of $7,000. And it's all going back to the Tri-City Cancer Center. Francano has also been selling t-shirts this week and selling them for $20, and 13 of those dollars are going straight back to the Tri-City Cancer Center. Don't forget to get yours if you haven't got it yet and wear it to the game tonight.
I'm so proud of us, Mike. It's amazing to see us all come together as one. To start our morning off, we have our first guest speaker of the morning. She's one of my very own best friends and one of our own very brave students. She's one of the strongest girls I know and has an amazing story to share with us this morning. Please welcome out Hallie Owens to the floor.
To most of you, I know how this is. It's just another boring assembly you have to sit through, or something to get you out of going to class for a day. Trust me, I get it. We're seniors. So I'll come up with it. Pink Week's all about raising money, and we're in pink, and to some of us, that's all it is. But for me, it's a little bit different. The color pink in the month of October has a little bigger impact on my family than most. When I was 14, going into my freshman year, my life was kind of flipped upside down. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And for a while, it really did feel like a nightmare. It didn't really feel all that real, and when you get news like that, you don't really want to believe it. My mom, there's no way. But I'll never forget that day. It was a Tuesday, the 13th of August in 2013. My mom told me she had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and to be brutally honest, I thought my mom was going to die. The word cancer was said, and I instantly thought of the worst. Trust me, I bawled. I had the awful thought in my head, and that was the hardest thing for me to wrap my head around. Why my mom? Why do bad things happen to such good people? School was starting in about 2 weeks, and it was my first year of high school. It seemed like my world was crashing down, and somehow, it turned out to be the biggest learning lesson of my entire life. Like most teenage middle school girls, I thought my parents were dumb. I thought my mom was trying to ruin my life, and we fought about just about everything there was to fight about. Yeah, taking the garbage out, cleaning my room, all of that good stuff. Like many middle school girls, I thought I was perfect, and I thought my parents didn't know anything about me. And my world revolved around pretty much just one thing, and that was me. As an incoming freshman, I was forced to grow up a little bit faster. The first day of school came around, and my mom was in the hospital. And for the first time in 9 years, neither of my parents were there to send me off to school or take the annual first day of school picture. And if you know anything about my mom, pictures are kind of a big deal. For the first time ever, I didn't have that, and I think that's when it hit me. Wow, life's a little different this year. It's not going to be the same. I came home from the first day of school, and she was home from the hospital. Recovery starts now, right? Soon after, like most people with cancer, my mom went through chemotherapy, just shortly after surgery. With chemotherapy comes sickness and the common losing your hair, and that's exactly what happened. I was scared, but my family lived by the motto, one day at a time. Make it through one day and on to the next, and no matter what happens, we'll all be okay. At this time, it was around January of my freshman year. I was sitting right here, and my name was called down during the Winter Wishes Assembly. And I had no idea. My brother was a junior, and I was a freshman. And we were called down to the middle of the gym, and were given a gift card to take my family out to dinner. We were in the midst of chemo, and even such a little gesture meant so much more. Since then, I've had the support of my friends, that have turned into my family. And they've been with me ever since. Chemotherapy lasted about 5 months, roughly. It felt so long to me, and I can't imagine how long it felt to her. Her last chemo treatment was February 10th of 2014. My whole family went to her last chemo treatment, and that's a place that humbles you quite a bit. It was a good experience to be able to witness what goes on there and what they do, and that was a pretty big deal. Chemo affected her quite a bit. She was pretty sick. She wasn't able to come to my homecoming to take pictures freshman year, and she wasn't able to do a lot of things she usually does, and we weren't used to that. I was playing club soccer at the time, and we wore pink jerseys for her that spring. After chemo came radiation, and compared to chemo, it was a lot less harsh. Her first treatment was Monday, March 3rd of 2014, and the last was Wednesday of April 9th, I believe. After radiation, she had a break for a while, and then came the last hard part. She went to Seattle to have one last surgery in November of 2014. That was a hard one because I didn't have my family home for Thanksgiving for the first time ever. Me and my brother were there without my parents. My grandparents tried their hardest to make it as normal as possible, but we all knew things weren't ideal. And at that point, I was pretty scared. But you try hard to look at the positives. Just imagine on Thanksgiving, not having your parents there, not doing the normal Thanksgiving dinner. It was tough. She recovered at the end of November and through December of that year. And from then on out, it became kind of an uphill journey. At this time, I was a sophomore, and it just got a little bit easier. Millions of doctor's visits, millions of shots, blood draws, needles, everything, and here we are. At the time when everything was going on, it was never really an option to be weak. From the very beginning, our attitudes were, we're going to get through it. No matter what happens, we all have each other. And I think that's one of the biggest factors that plays a role in this journey, would be the mental aspect of it. We cried one time, and that was when she told us. And from that point on, she set the attitude that we're going to win. She had the most positive mindset through the worst of times, and that's what got us through it. And I think that's what I admire the most about her, and what makes her so strong. Not necessarily what she went through, but how she handled it. Never did she ever want anybody to feel bad for her, and that was tough. Why her? Why not me? And that's what makes our relationship so strong to this day. I can't explain in words how it felt to see your mom go through something so terrible. To know that she was in so much pain, and you really can't do anything about it, and that was really hard for us. Definitely, I would say I took from all of this to not take only your parents for granted, but anybody. In a span of 5 minutes, my world was flipped upside down, and you never know what's going to happen. I want to give a huge thanks to the Cancer Center for everything that they did, and everything that they do to help not only everyone, but my family included. We wouldn't be where it was today if it wasn't for them. And I don't think people truly realize how much is done there. My mom actually did her chemotherapy through the Tri-City Cancer Center. And everything they do is really to help every patient that they have there, and I don't think people realize how much work is put into their everyday job. That place made it possible for my mom to live at home while receiving chemo, and I think that was a big help in our whole journey. They are a huge part in where we are now. And here we are today,